Hey, I'm your humble host, Fizz Ed Music, and this right here, this is Urban Politics. Want to thank you all for liking and subscribing as you do. Please, as soon as you have a chance, take a little cell phone over to YouTube, like and subscribe. Fizz Ed Music, Urban Politics. Without further ado, I want to jump right into it like a car and drive because there's all types of tasty and delicious politics to sink our teeth into. Let's go ahead and get the elephant in the room, the elephant in the nation. Nothing new. All the tricks and all the stuff that we're seeing coming from the GOP, coming from Trump, it's actually nothing new. The GOP has been trying to get some of this stuff done since I've been alive. Stuff like getting rid of women's rights and abortion rights, getting rid of civil rights, getting rid of food stamps and other social programs, getting rid of education, or make sure that education is not accessible to all people who want it, especially not accessible to poor people, and getting rid of all, black, indigenous, people of color in government, BIPOC in government. All of this is stuff that the GOP has been wanting to do for a long time, for a real long time. But forever there, I'm old enough to remember, there was a time, and I might even talk about this on the last show, the GOP, they couldn't win. They couldn't win political contest. And for a while out there, it had been a while since they even had anybody in that executive spot. So once they captured it with Trump, they kind of got in bed with the devil, and now they can't wake up from this fever dream that they're involved in, and they also can't separate themselves, right? Because he owns that party. He owns the people in that party, and it's sad. I never would have thought that all these people who talked all this stuff about him, about how bad he was, about how loathsome he was, and then as soon it came time, they bent over and jumped right in there and just and just capitulated to Trump. Is ridiculous. But he said that. I remember Trump saying that. He said all these people are talking all this stuff about me, but once I win, they're gonna fall in line, and that's exactly what every one of them did. From Lindsey Graham to whoever you can think of, they fell right in line behind this guy they talked all that smack about. So here's the thing: Trump ain't changed, right? If anything, he's gotten worse. So they know how bad he is, but that party holds on to him and lets him do whatever he wants to do because he won them votes. In their mind, this guy won us votes. He is the real reason that we were able to capture the executive. So they let him do whatever he wants to do, even though behind the scenes, a lot of them aren't even cool with it. But they feel like they're beholden to Trump because he's the only one who was able to, find this piece of America, these people who are not too intelligent, not too bright at all, don't even really pay attention to politics or know anything about it. But he was able to get to that racial animus and make those people vote. And now those people vote. And when you talk about uninformed, uneducated voters, there's your imagination, right? But for whatever reason, he's got them. Ain't no for whatever reason. I just said the reason, the racism. It got him. It captured him, right? So he gets their votes. That is his base. That is the only reason the Republican Party will not go against this guy. Now, here's the thing, though. Republican Party, listen to me here. He's going to tank your party because Trump don't care about Republicans. He don't care about Democrats. He don't care about the American people. He care about money, and he making a bunch of it. So he don't care nothing about that party. That's the reason why, and I'm going to talk more about this later on in the show. There's that blue wave because quiet as kept, Trump don't care about that blue wave. I don't think he even cares about the 26 midterms. He don't care about that. He don't care about that. And if he doesn't care about that, then what's going to happen? We'll talk about that too. But moving on, none of this stuff is new. And Trump was just a vehicle that rich white people needed to get poor white people in the act. Because all of this stuff getting taken away, it gets taken away from them as well, right? And there's nothing in it for them except knowing that they're keeping white supremacy going, except knowing that they have a standard bearer, this guy Trump, who's against people who are brown, against people who are not like them. So they're like, what I'm saying, and that's a little comfort for them as white people. But they don't understand when you dance with the devil don't change. The devil changes you. So as the GOP has been dancing with the devil, they're changing. And their party will never be the same. And if you ask me, their party will probably never come back from this. If they lose in 2026, which I think they will, it'll be a long time before they capture the executive again. I'm not saying it won't happen because that's kind of how this country does. You know, we go a Democrat, oh, things are going good. Oh, I have another Democrat, things are going good. Let's try and get a Republican. Oh, they do that. Then things are bad, and be like, oh, we need another Democrat. And I'm not saying the Democratic Party is wearing no halos. I'm just saying that they have a whole lot of programs to help people, to where the Republicans have a whole lot of programs to help rich white men. So there's that. So nothing new. This is business as usual for the GOP. Trump was just able to help them get a lot of this stuff off that they couldn't get off before, right? But that seems to be coming to an end because he didn't all, he's also upset a lot of his own constituents, a lot of MAGA Nation, a lot of farmers who are wondering why Venezuela's getting a bailout and they're losing their family farm. You know what I'm saying? Those are trumpeters who ain't gonna be playing that trumpet so loud anymore, right? So there's that. Moving on. Let's talk about Dems talking about packing the court. Now, there I forget how many justices are on the Supreme Court. Right now, I think is it like maybe it's 7 or something like that. You know, they make sure there's not an even vote, so there's a tiebreaker, right? So there's 3 of them that are for something, 3 of them who are against something. You got one person can break that tie or whatever. They talking about packing the court. You put more judges in there. You can put some liberal judges in there. A lot of people are saying if you pack the court, you're changing the look of the court. You might be changing things because another party gets in there, and then they get packed with conservatives or whatnot. I say that is what it is right now. Drastic times call for drastic measures. If they're gonna pack the court, go on and do it. Go on and do it, because right now it's a very conservative court we have, right? So federal judges do their thing to call Trump on stuff. He'll run to the Supreme Court and get it overturned because he got a lot of his people over there. And that's garbage. That's not right. That's not law. That's not how it's supposed to be. So they're talking about packing the court, and so that maybe the court could be a little more fairer and reflect more the views of the American people. I think that's a good thing. Go on and pack that court. Why not? Why not? Now's the time to pull out all the stops because this guy ain't messing around. This administration ain't messing around. They are lawless, and they are lawless. So Democrats, stop playing nice. Stop trying to play by the rules. You know what I'm saying? Stop trying to worry about history. Come on, man. Forge a new path. Go on and pack that court, and let's get some of these judgments for the American people, right? So that's my 2 cents. Right? Go on and pack that court, right? Check this out. There were some polls done lately about Generation Z, Gen Z polling, right? And they said Gen Z men who voted for Trump rate having children as the most important thing in their personal definitions of success. That's interesting, ain't it? Check this out. Gen Z women who voted for Harris ranked having children as the second least important thing in their lives or to them. Now think about that. Does that mean, like, for whatever reason, younger men are interested in the future, interested in being financially stable so that one day they can take care of a wife, take care of kids? That ain't nothing new. Believe it or not, that's been in the minds of men probably since the beginning of time. How I'm going to take care of this family. How would I provide for any woman who wanted to get with me and any children we might have? That's usually paramount in a man's mind. It's interesting that these women, they put it way down on the list. They ain't worried about having children. But that makes sense too, because these are wonky times. And what women are interested in is security, especially a woman with children. A lot of these women have seen older friends, older siblings struggle with children by themselves. And they're like, girl, I don't want to be you. And they're like, girl, you don't want to be me. So they've gotten that lesson. They learned that. And then when times are financially tumultuous, no time to go and procreating because kids are expensive. You need money for children. And it's hard to be an adequate parent if you don't have the money to take care of those children. So these Gen Z ladies, they're thinking, and it makes sense. That does make sense. And I can understand that. I can see the gap too, because at the end of the day, I think some of these men are like, yeah, that child's going to get taken care of because I'm going to take care of it, which, doesn't happen all the time. We wish it did. But I guess 9 times out of 10, these men are thinking, yeah, I'm going to take care of that child when I make it. These women are living in reality because, like I said, they have friends who have went through this. And, that man probably wasn't there and they need to lean on a social safety net that ain't even really there anymore. Or ain't there like it's supposed to be. Or actually ain't really there anymore. Like, Thanksgiving coming, Christmas coming. This man to cut food stamps, the reserve money for food stamps. He runs to the Supreme Court, making sure that they won't release that. So come on now. If you was a woman, why you want to have a child right now? You know what I'm saying? So you and your child can go hungry. You know what I'm saying? Shit, you may. It's not funny, it's sad. But I'm sure a lot of these ladies like, shoot, if I'm gonna starve to death, it'd just be me starving to death. I'm gonna starve to death with a child. Why put a child through that? So I get that. So that's something to think about. Last thing I got here, and it's something to be excited about, was the Democratic wave, that wave of blue that swept the nation on Tuesday. Now here in Columbus anyway, there weren't any like people on the ballot. It was a lot of issues. I think there was a zoo issue to get the zoo more money, stuff like that. But there weren't too many people on the ballot, so there's that. In other places around the country, there were people on the ballot, and they won. I don't think there was a Democratic loss at all on Tuesday. And if you don't believe me, go over to Fox News and see. I mean, these people are crying in their soup about it. They can't take it. They can't take it. What did they expect, though? The economy's in the toilet. People are getting yanked off the street and thrown God knows where. You know what I'm saying? Rolling back civil rights. All types of stuff. Rolling back women's rights. You know, all of that stuff. So what did they think? Why would the GOP think that this guy would be popular? They've seen his favorability. And it's way underwater. He might be the least favorable or least liked president in history. Really. They said he was beating his own low numbers from his last time he was in office. So it's a race to the bottom with this guy, right? But then this redistricting thing comes up. He's trying to steal basically seats in Texas to ensure a Republican stronghold, a GOP stronghold on the government. That's garbage. It's garbage. And then he gets on TV and says, oh, I've had the best poll numbers I've ever had. The economy's doing better than it's ever did. It did bad under Biden. It's doing great under me. No, it wasn't doing great under Biden either, but it was doing a whole lot better than it's doing now under Biden. So how about that? But he gets on there and he lies, and I'm like, do you believe these lies, or you just tell them because you know idiots who don't know how to Google or do anything else, or just open their eyes and look around, you know? Think he has to sell. How much I just spent at the grocery store last time I went? Too much. A lot more than you were spending last year this time, right? So he goes on TV. He tells all these lies. His story gets over there on Fox News. They tell a bunch of lies, but you can't beat the brass tacks. People are hip to the fact that they got less money in their pocket. They got less money in their wallet. They got less money in their 401k. You know, the grocery prices are through the roof. People are hip to all of that stuff. People are hip to the fact that healthcare premiums are due to double and triple in a month or two here. So, I mean, it's really, really bad. So when he goes on TV and talks about, oh, things are going great, nah, people can look around him and say, nah, that is not so. You know, don't believe your lying eyes. Nah, people's eyes ain't lying. They can open their eyes and see things are not that great. And it's sad because, once again, I'm going to go on record saying it. This man, Trump, he inherited an economy that was the envy of the world. And tanked it in 2 months. Kind of sounds like George Bush Jr., right? Who I think had a surplus, right? And then spent it all up going to the Iraq war in a month or two, maybe 2 months. Yeah, and that's what these guys do. These Republicans, man, they blow holes in the deficit. They talk all that stuff about GDP and, you know what I'm saying, how America needs to tighten its belt and all that stuff. And then they get in there and just spend. And a lot of times they're spending money on giving already millionaires and billionaires a tax cut. So you go in there and take all this money from all these social programs to give people who don't need it a tax break. Just because you rich too and want to do it too. Why not? That's sad. That's pathetic. This country really needs to get its priorities in order. I was happy about Tuesday night. It was a blue wave. They said it was a message to the White House. I think it was a message to Donald Trump, the White House, and all of them to let them know your days are numbered. Your days are numbered. People paying attention. You saw that No Kings protest? My God, who wasn't out there? Except people like me who was at work. Who wasn't out at these protests? That right there lets you know that America's fed up. She's had enough. It looks like Lady Liberty might be ready to leave her abusive boyfriend. We'll see, but you know how that goes. What can I say? Time is drawing nigh. It's been 15 minutes. I ain't gonna hold you. As the kids would say, I ain't gonna hold you. You know what I'm saying? I'm Fizz Music. I want to thank you for liking and subscribing. Liking and subscribing as you do. Please, right after this video, as soon as you close this picture window, you go over there to YouTube. Please like and subscribe. Phys Ed Music, Urban Politics, and without, oh Lord, I'm going to have to open the show again. And as always, I'm going to see you around like a donut.